Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm vengeance.
I have given a name to my pain.
The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
And Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome to the BOF podcast, episode 225. This is gonna be a fun one. This is a real fun one, actually. This is because it's the season, so there's always one movie that always gets brought up. It's a favorite of the editor-in-chiefs. It's Batman Returns. I got Ryan Haas here. We're going to be talking about Batman Returns, One Dark Christmas Eve, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Haas, how excited are you to talk about this book?
Oh, I'm excited. It's not entirely unexpected, but what's great about Batman is that if you wait around long enough, even the stories that you think can't be told any other ways will turn into children's books that are better than they have any right to be.
That is a 100% valid point, and this book is so amazing. It's so much better than it has any right to be. I can't believe they pulled it off. I can't believe they pulled it off with a song and a tune, and it just works perfectly. When did this come out? Did this come out last year?
A year ago. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
last Christmas.
Last Christmas, I remember I ordered it directly from Inside Editions. I ordered it from the website when it first came out.
I think Lauer ordered it. Or was it you that got it super early?
Yeah, because I got it right from Insight, which is they do amazing things. I got to give Inside Edition.
Insight's great.
What they come up with and who they come up with and do it with, like their teams are very creative, and like this is amazing. The Farago book wasn't it? That's also an Inside Editions. That was great. Like these deep, they can go as deep as they want to, or they can be as simple as they want to with this one, for instance. But Inside Editions is magnificent stuff. So it's a year out. I didn't talk about it last year because I don't remember if it came in time for Christmas. I have no idea. I know I've had
it was way early. You got it really early.
Yeah,
like September.
Okay, all right. So maybe it did, and you don't have time. You don't have enough time this time of year. But we're going to talk about it now. It is written by Ivan Cohen and illustrated by J.J. Harrison, and this dynamic duo, I think, did Batman Returns beyond justice, right?
Oh yeah, beyond.
Yeah.
They tell it with it's old to where it's kid appropriate, but it's told with such reverence to the source material of the movie itself.
It's very faithful, very faithful. And you said that if you had to introduce a kid to Batman Returns, I think this is how you do it. You do it in the disguise of A Christmas Tale, because you're supposed to kind of like sing the story along with God Rest You Merry Gentlemen in that tune. And if you do the book reads fine on its own. Like I did it both ways, but I'm not Holzman. Like I can't just sing for hours. I just don't have the vocal abilities. You're
not ready to sing it at a moment's notice.
No, not at all. But when you do, it works. And it's like, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe how well it sounded as I was singing horribly.
Yeah, it all lines up. It's all rhythmic.
Yeah.
And it's another thing that just takes the Christmas tie-in to another level. Really further cement Batman Returns as a Christmas holiday.
Yeah,
movie.
It's hard. It's going to be hard to debate because they did this with Die Hard 2, I believe. Not Die Hard 2, but Die Hard as well.
Yes.
Yeah, the original Die Hard. I believe that.
They could do it with Die Hard 2.
I think so. That takes place during Christmas time, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's it's winter season.
Of the movie. It's like, how could the same thing happen to the same guy twice?
It's
my favorite part of the
it's
movie.
just I don't like Die Hard 2, to be honest with you. But that's I don't know. I haven't seen it in years. But anyway, there's
Fred Thompson and John Leguizamo in it. Like, how can you go wrong?
I don't even remember Leguizamo in that movie. Really, I haven't watched it in forever. Okay, I stand corrected. That's a satellite show. That's a satellite show. What were some of your favorite parts of the book in general? Like, for instance, like I love the little penguins and the Oswald stuff will always be true. Will always be like close to my heart. But for me,
yeah,
the hell here and the penguin and the duck at the park, like that's like, and I want to say even the penguin at the cemetery. Those are some like really iconic returns moments. And to get there's not many iconic moments they didn't get in this book. Is what I'm saying. They did a great job.
For the most part, yeah.
I'm trying
like as I'm going through, I started to think like, okay, how are they going to do this? How are they going to do that? How are they going to be able to show some of the things that happen in the movie? Like, are they going to skip over them, or like, how are they going to do it? One of my favorite ones is just showing the Bruce and Selena date. And
he's got the kind of tongue in cheek.
He's got like all the smooches all over his face, and like that's where they kind of keep it. But if you've seen the movie, you know how far it goes.
I think the only time I said to myself, I wish
the Ice Princess dying
was high fiber. Like, I don't know why.
Eat floor high fiber.
I wanted eat floor high fiber in the book. I didn't get it. That's my only gripe. But like that's so minimal on the grand scale of things.
I was wondering if they would find a way to put in still could be worse. My nose could be gushing blood, like him biting the nose. I'm like, I don't know if there's any way.
I don't know. They might be pushing it a little too much, but I mean, everything from the Red Triangle Gang looks fantastic, and the invasion in the park, Gotham Square Park, to Max being in the giant bird cage with Oswald in his leotard, like it's J.J. Harrison did a magnificent job of taking the weird, quirky stuff of Tim Burton, but creating his own. But it's like there's no doubt that this is Danny's Oswald, right? DeVito's Oswald.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love, and
it translates really well.
There's one major change to the book from the movie is there's no ski boat. The Batwing takes the place of the ski boat. That's the only real.
The whole scene takes place within like one page. Yeah, and maybe that was the reason where they could be like, well, it's easier to show the penguins in Gotham City and the Batwing flying in and doing some sort of sonic disruptor in half of a page.
It's not an issue. It doesn't bother me, right? Like it works in a way. It's like it's can
cool
bother
to see.
You about this.
If it shouldn't, if you've got your priorities straight. But what's cool about it from an analysis standpoint is it's fun to see an alternate version of that scene from Returns with the Batwing back.
Yeah, because we don't get the Batwing back for Keaton until the Flash,
and that's right.
Yeah, so it's nice to know that there was another one in there. Yeah, I mean, I love these little rocket penguins, and we even get to be Merry Little Batman too, which is even better. But
that's right.
Yeah, even the darker stuff is not bad. I mean, the Selena Max confrontation at the end, where Bruce pulls off the mask, like that whole thing, like that's pretty intense, I think, for what they were doing earlier.
Yeah, and even the text is like, the instead of like, oh, the penguin died a cold and dreary death, it's just like, oh, the explosions sealed the penguin's fate. He just could not survive, and you just see him going down a whirlpool. It reminds me like very much the penguin's design reminds me of like the Ice King from Adventure Time. It's just very like the goofy, lovable goofball, like, but yet he's a villain and he still has to kind of be kind of a jerk.
Yeah, I mean,
but you kind of feel sad for him too. So there's a lot of crossover there, I think.
Well, I mean, to be honest, like from the get-go, like with how they drew the opening and how it's written, the Cobblepot's throwing him in the river, just like in the movie. It's, right. I feel bad for because he's always a baby. Like you got to remember, like Oswald's a baby being thrown away here. It's kind of horrible. So like, how could you not feel bad for him? Yeah, like it does have its. I would say those are probably the two heavier elements, but not the one with Oswald in the beginning. It's not. You could see Max really getting fried up here. Like Oswald just kind of, he's already in the river. It's not as violent or kind of as forceful as Paul Rubens, struggling to get that baby carriage over the wall.
Oh, yeah.
But so I mean, like the ending, like, oh my god! First of all, the whole book is my favorite part, but like, there's so many great little just like nuggets. Like I love like Penguin as he's the Oswald Cobblepot School of Driving. Like that, just like little image would make like an awesome Funko Pop. Like I know I got one recently of Oswald in the Duck from Batman Returns, but this is cool. I think that's awesome. Like I love seeing things like that because that gimmick was something that was in like it was in the early Sam Hamm script where like
it'd be like a fun T-shirt or a fridge magnet.
Yeah, they're always selling pieces of like the Batwing or stuff. And they turned Batman kind of into like a carnival thing. So it was a theme thing in certain parts of the city where they had these rides. This was like
that's a good tie-in. That's a good, I guess that's like some context there of like maybe that was a lost kind of script point. Like that's why that would exist.
Yeah, it was like something you see outside the grocery store, and like Oswald like stole it, and
right.
Which is funny because it's like, well, why would he go through all this trouble to make a fake Batmobile?
Yeah, well, just because he thinks it's fun. Yeah,
but like that's great, and they get him. I mean,
that is really the true. That's always was kind of like a Batman 66 level thing where like of course that makes sense. That why wouldn't you do that?
Well, it was that pre-Nolan, you could do things like that,
right?
You could just comic book. That's comic book movie stuff.
Now the Riddler can't just. He's gotta have context, Peter.
Yeah, he's got to have that pink flat top, or else he's not the real Riddler.
That's right.
I think in terms of like translating the best from the movie to the book, I actually think is the whole sequence of Oswald being in control of the Batmobile. Like I think the art for that's right now really great. One of the pages on the bottom, you have like these little cop cars with the old woman where Batman stops short as soon as he punches through the bottom of the Batmobile. Like I think that's that whole sequence from the shaking of the news van to Oswald laughing to Batman doing that to stopping suddenly. I think that translates really well all in one page. Like it's really fascinating how Harrison was able to cram like one of the biggest action pieces in the movie all in a couple pages. I give him a lot of credit, man. Like I love that stuff. I really do.
But then the detail and accuracy is really nice. Like even the next page, just when you get to the beginning of the speech, that Oswald Cobblepot for mayor poster is very iconic to the film. And
you know exactly where you are in the movie. You know exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and so it's cool to see it like perfectly, recreated in the same style here. And I
almost looks very BTAS, the shadow, the poster, the silhouette of the poster. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, and I've always liked the scene where, Bruce and Alfred mess
DJ
up
Wayne,
DJ Wayne. Yeah, and they don't skip on that either. They've got Bruce like sticking the CD into the bat.
It's
CD
there.
Player.
Yeah,
and they have Penguin actually saying the full like, I'll take care of the pinheads of Gotham.
Yeah, that's a huge line
from hell.
Those are huge lines in the movie, and I like how they illustrate him. That whole panel is just red, like I think of tomatoes. I'm just like, oh, that's it. He's getting it with tomatoes.
Yeah,
it's really fantastic. And then they get to the ballroom scene, and Mistletoe gets a really good let's say I don't want to call it a splash page. I feel like that's a little bit too common.
Well, it gets the setup in this story too. They even like mention the foreshadowing in the dialogue.
It's really there's a lot of Bruce and the Bruce and Selena stuff is really good when it had to be, like Max with Max in the office, Saved by Kitty Litter.
Just meeting each other,
it's so good. There's not one huge aspect of the movie that's missing from this book, and it's not a lot
other than Chip Shrek.
I've noticed Chip's absence. I was very curious. He could have just been standing there.
Right.
I don't know. He could have just been in the background, but it's there's not a whole lot of real Max is really almost in the background. He's not really. I don't think he talks much in the book, does he? Does he give a speech, or do they just kind of?
Yeah, I don't know if he has any like
I don't think Max
dialogue.
actually has any actual
He-
dialogue. He's just there. He honestly, he looks like something out of like Sleepy Hollow in this book,
Yeah, like
which is probably
the
like what Burton
the
intended.
design for Max, the design for Max is really interesting. They have like these like it almost makes him look like a devil, like these extra accentuating devil type lines that are
The
I would
horns, of the
believe
hair,
intended to
yeah.
be part of the hair, but yeah.
That's a good point. I'm
And like they
noticing.
have a cape, like he has like a little extra cape that looks like a vampire, like a bat kind of when it flails out.
Yeah, well, I mean, people have been arguing that the real villain of the movie is Max for years.
Well, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
you know, Penguin and Catwoman are the coming, the main attractions. But
Yeah.
I'm flipping through, yeah, like just even when Max is captured by the Penguins, when he's negotiating with Oswald eating fish, I didn't pick up on the horns thing. That's a good call. It's a very good call. Here, okay, here, let's bring this up. Zombie Catwoman. How they did
Right.
it in the book, very cute. Very cute. It's one battle, it's one kitty, and it says kiss. Like it's so suitable for like
Oh, yeah, where the
like
cat's just like lick,
yeah,
bring you back to life.
because that's a really intense scene in the book. That's a very controversial scene in the book, and I think Cohen and Harrison really came up with just a kind of adorable way to honor that.
Right.
Because
In the 3 steps, kiss,
yeah.
kiss, smash, and so.
Yeah, because like it's going into the apartment and breaking everything and spray paint and all that jazz. She lost it really there. I'm really floored by how well this turned out. I've had it since it came out. I read it today. Like, this is my first reading of it. Like I read it,
Wow.
and then I read it with the song, because like when I got it, like I just didn't have time last year between like. So it's tough trying to add stuff to your like Christmas holiday, like I don't know, like to-do list, because like, you're kind of so established. When something new comes around, it's kind of like, all right, well, where does this fit in? Like
I'm fitting in a lot of new stuff this year with Merry Little Batman. There's a and when you have a kid like I do, you want to add this stuff in. So we've added that in. There's like Urkel Saves Christmas. We're gonna give that a shot.
Okay, that's cool.
The kids
that's not bad.
The kids into Urkel because he's like a guest star in Scooby-Doo Guess Who, and not necessarily she's a Family Matters fan. She knows Urkel from Scooby-Doo, and so now that version of Urkel has his own movie, which is just kind of wild.
It's so
I'm
funny.
gonna blow her mind when she's like, "Wait, that was a whole TV show? He's like a real person."
He's like a real kid. There's like hours of this guy.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I like Shazam is one of the newer things too. I try to fit in every Christmas season. Shazam, Batman Returns. I try to do with that. Batman Noel, that's another one.
Christmas with the Joker.
Yeah,
Christmas with the Joker.
I love Christmas with the Joker. Let's see. I to be honest, man, like I'm starting to think Phantasm has to get some Christmas recognition. The fact that it came out on Christmas. It kind of happens. It looks like it's cold out there in Gotham during Phantasm. I'm down to call that a Christmas movie, but so like,
I feel like that's the thing you can do to kick off the end of Christmas, like you watch it Christmas Day or like the day after, like you're watching it in the theater when it gets released.
I usually wait to watch Batman Returns on Christmas Day. I've watched Die Hard, Lethal Weapon. Those are like my Christmas movies. Jingle All the Way is a favorite of mine.
Oh yeah, I already watched that one.
Arnold in a Christmas movie is a gift that no one knew they had got.
It
just is. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just that is fantastic. And he's a really unusual Mr. Freeze. But unfortunately Freeze isn't in this. I would be down for if someone could come up with a way to make that a kid's book. It'd probably be better than the movie. Batman and Robin. But when it comes to this Batman Returns book, I'm again just really impressed. I can't believe they did it. It's still on sale. You can still buy it. Obviously, it's whether if you're like Amazon or Barnes and Noble, it's like $20. I think this is well worth it. You can put up there with your Rudolph or your Frosty. Like I remember my mom used to buy me those books when I was a kid. So like I have it now, kind of displayed with those, like the old Frosty and Rudolph stuff. Like she bought me.
Oh yeah.
Now. And
you read How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and then you read this Batman Returns, One Dark Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Like it's with my originals. I remember one Christmas, my mom got me this like stuffed Grinch because he was like the main attraction at like the Thanksgiving. That they used to like their main balloon at the Thanksgiving parade. They would make like a stuffed
Oh,
doll
right.
at Macy's or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
she got me the Grinch one, and it was cool because on his wrist he comes with like a bracelet, but attached to is a mini version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas,
Oh, that's cool.
and his heart lights up. So it's cool. Like they used to do. I like when they do
Oh,
stuff
cool.
like that. So that's like I was like, this is part of my like my Christmas decor now. It's like, oh, it's the Batman Returns. It's like again, you said it earlier. This is like cementing its Christmas legacy.
Hey y'all, it's Bill Ramey, founder of Batman on Film. Let's take a quick pause in this podcast for these words from our sponsor.
They did a magnificent job. So I don't know. I highly recommend it. I love this thing. I had a blast with it. Haas seems to enjoy it really well too. So it
was great because one of the big perks of having a child is that you can, when there are things like this that are kid skewing, you can totally see it through their eyes. And that was a big part of getting this last year. And I mean, yeah, she's only 6, 6 is good and all that, but she's already seen Batman Returns because she's my kid. So it's not like I'm introducing it to her. So she already knew the story. But when we got it last year and read it, she really loved it and asked me to read it like every day for a week, leading up to Christmas. And she was able to follow the movie, and she's like, oh yeah, there's that part and that part. That's cool.
Was there anything she didn't like? Did she have any complaints, or was she just like, did she like as much?
I think she liked it as much as we did. What's interesting now is that now that she's able to read a lot more, I think when we read it this year, we'll see what happens. I think what'll happen is like, I'll try to read /sing the dialogue, and she'll probably pick up on all of the speech bubbles and the extra things.
Okay, so you guys kind of tag team it. Okay, cool.
We'll tag team it. So we'll see. I think that's kind
of. Have you guys
probably
tried singing it together?
I sang it to her last year when I read it.
Okay.
Because it's that's the way it's intended to be read.
As a parent, when you were first hearing about this, knowing what the actual source material is, was there any concern saying, like, I got to check this out first? Like, I don't know if this is really, I don't know how they're going to do this.
As soon as we saw, what I remember is like we saw when it got announced with some artwork with it at the same time. And as soon as we saw that artwork, it was like, oh man, this thing's going to be amazing. Like, what? That sounds so weird. A kid's book based off Batman Returns. But she had seen Batman Returns, at least, and I would, of course, fast forward through some of the stuff. But she knows the movie quite well.
Have you read the Die Hard one?
No.
Okay. I was just curious if you had any context of like how they went about going about this.
No.
I'm trying to think. The only thing that could possibly be scary, I guess, to a kid would probably be the one red page of the Red Triangle Gang. I think that's really it. But
right.
I don't think anything really is unsuitable. Like I don't think anyone would be calling inside editions and wanting, I don't want these toys like they did in '92. No one's gonna complain to McDonald's. Yeah, I don't know. What did you think of just how Batman looked from a fan standpoint, from a person who reads comic book? I thought he looked great. I'm with you. He looked,
because this returns Batman. It's not. It's a lot of times
it's very
nowadays,
clear. Yeah.
A lot of times nowadays, when you see Keaton Batman, it's always skews more towards the '89 suit, but they made sure to keep it returns accurate,
which is unique.
I like.
The emblem for '89 is so unique to that film for licensing rights and all that jazz.
Right.
You would think they would default to the return suit because they have the rights to that logo. I guess I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's clear as day. I mean, those like Art Deco abs are there.
Yeah, I always loved that so much.
I even Catwoman's design is flawlessly. I mean, it's kind of almost I want to say like Betty Boop, like it's like the way her body's drawn because she's got such a tiny waist.
Right.
But the stitch suit and everything, I thought they translated it really well. But
yeah, it's just simple and the use of color is nice. I've never been a huge fan of the purple underneath Batman's cape.
It works
comics,
here,
but they do that here a little bit too. whatever the lighting kind of calls for it, and it does
That's
work.
kind of a Burton Batman thing too, to be honest with you. Like they did it in '89. Quinones, like his Batman '89.
Oh, right.
It has a little
That's
purple
right.
cape. I mean, this will probably throw Kowalski off. He'll be really pissed. How could they do this to Batman Returns? Ho ho ho, Kowalski. Yeah, there's man.
Like they even have the cowl rip moment where he has to like rip his cowl off.
Yeah, I was actually wondering.
There's no
eye black. I was wondering if they would like emphasize the eye black pre-tear, but I think how they did it in like the all yellow box is pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's not many big moments from this movie that are not found within, like, I don't even know how many pages this is. But it's like, I don't know. It's definitely not a long read.
Well, it's a quick read.
Yeah. It's just, man, they nailed it. I'm really impressed. I can't get it. Like, I would love to talk. I believe Lauer did a show with Cohen. I think Lauer on Brian Lauer's Batman book.
Oh, did he?
I believe he talked to Mr. Cohen about the book, if I'm not mistaken.
It's everything you kind of want in a kid's book like this. That's very layered. It's, the artwork itself is really good and really captivating. It like it skews towards kids, but it's very artistic and well done, and it kind of meets the expectations of somebody that is a huge Batman Returns fan, and the writing keeps it Christmassy, if you're buying it just for Christmas, and the way it's interpreting the movie into kind of something that's just fun to kind of experience in a different way. And then just there's different levels to it, even within the art, there's all the speech bubbles and little Easter eggs, and just the fun of seeing how much they were able to squeeze in and where.
No, it was created with a lot of love. You can clearly tell that.
Exactly.
And it's the cover alone. Like, you look at this cover.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And it's perfect because the cover sums up Batman Returns 100% perfectly. You have Batman, Catwoman, Penguin in the car, and a rocket penguin. It's everything that you think of when it comes to Batman Returns is on that cover. And
I have a golden book from when I was a kid. That is a Batman Returns kids book. It's called The Penguin's Plot. Yeah. So it's kind of like what it does is it takes like the first half of the movie and retells it, but as if Penguin is the only villain in the movie.
Can you please do a Batman book club episode with Lauer on this?
It's crazy. It's really interesting. I
want to read that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's like one of those things where it's like half a page has artwork and the bottom half has like a paragraph or two of
what's
stuff.
The title?
So it's like The Penguin's Plot.
Okay, I'm gonna try to Google this. Maybe I can buy it.
You can track it down for pretty cheap on eBay. I remember I got it as a kid, like to donate to like the school's library because I wanted the library at my elementary school to have like a Batman thing in it. And then when my kid was born, I remembered that book and I looked it up and I got another copy so I could read it to her. So it kind of makes a good 1-2 punch with this.
Okay.
It's just a Penguin only retelling of the first half of Batman.
I had no idea they did that.
That's a little bit more kid friendly. Yeah.
It does like the cover reference DeVito's Oswald?
It's awesome. I remember it was
from the movie.
Awesome.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's cool. It's I don't know if Penguin's on the front of it, but yeah, he is. Yeah, it's great. It's really cool.
I'm gonna have to track this down. I had no idea.
It goes from the beginning of the movie until like it's like it goes past the Penguin stealing the Batmobile sequence. And then after that gets resolved, it's like, and the Penguin like dives over the bridge and like disappears. And it's like, well, we beat the Penguin. Merry Christmas.
That's great. He dives over the bridge.
Over. Yeah.
Like his parents threw one. That's amazing. I gotta track that down. We're gonna.
It's a good time.
Ryan Lauer, you're on standby. Lauer's on standby as of right now. Oh man, I love this book, man. I with this and the addition of Merry Little Batman this year, it's kind of an embarrassment of riches, Batman wise. Comes Christmas. I mean, Christmas, obviously you throw in Christmas.
Batman,
but
yeah, exactly.
Batman Christmas stuff is great.
And I've always been a big fan of the Batman Hallmark keepsake ornaments. I get those every year.
I haven't seen them out. My targets have been slacking.
Yeah. Well, I get the ones that are like at Hallmark, and this year there's good ones. There's like the Funko, Batman and Robin, Funko Batman and Robin from the '60s show that has like the I want that logo like
Flash,
underneath
man.
it.
I've
the
seen
Keaton Flash,
the
Flash. Yeah, it's the '89 Batman actually.
I thought it was the Keaton suit. I mean the Flash suit.
There was a little one from the Flash last year, but the keepsake ornament this year is actually just Keaton from '89.
Okay,
and it's pretty good too. So those are the top two this year.
I gotta track those down.
Oh, and then there's also like it's the Warner Brothers 100th anniversary, so there's a Wile E. Coyote dressed up as Batman ornament also. I got that too.
Oh wow, look at you! You're going all out.
I do for anything that's official keepsake and Batman. I'll get them all.
What else is there? There's a Batman Noel. I want to try to do something for Batman Noel. Well, that's Christmas. And I remember Lauer and we did an episode for Batman Book Club on the Frank Miller Batman Santa Claus story, which is very interesting.
Oh,
so track that down. That we did that a year ago. That was fun. I think it only comes in like in a leather bound print of like
in part of like the Frank Miller Batman collection.
Yeah, it's like year one Dark Knight Returns on this random Batman story. And I was like,
okay,
you guys crammed a lot in here. I was like, you didn't need this other one, but
yeah.
You recently said you watched Merry Little Batman. I'm going to do a review show later on with it, so everyone will have to wait for my 2 cents. But there's no reason why Hoss can't tell everybody he's not going to be on the show. So I think it's great if you just took the floor and told everybody how you feel about that new addition to our Christmas lineup.
Yeah, of course. When it was announced, like I had a complete opposite reaction to this book. Where like this when the Batman Returns One Dark Christmas Eve got announced, it was like, oh, I know exactly what they're doing. This looks amazing. Day one, buy it. When Merry Little Batman got announced, it was like, what the hell is this? This looks weird.
Was it about the animation, the style?
It was the animation, yeah, because it's so strange. It's so off-putting. It's interesting.
Did you watch the Aquaman special that they did for HBO Max?
No, because by the time I wanted to watch it, Zaslav took it off.
It's off? Okay, because it's similar animation.
And now you got to buy it.
Very funny. Oh, well, it's worth buying, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I probably should.
I want to buy it.
I've been wanting to. Yeah, now that I've seen it, I would buy it. A nice copy of it. Because, like, you see, like, One Dark Christmas Eve, and that's like, oh, it's like Batman for kids, and it's got the edge, but it's cool, and it's got a style and identity. I get it. But you look at this, and it's just like, it's kind of ugly, kind of weird. And it's one of those things that looks better in motion than it does in stills. You've got to see the animation animating.
Yeah, it didn't bother me at all.
What's cool about it is it's so well done. You have to give it a chance, and 10, 20 minutes in, you're like, okay, this is what they're doing. This is cool. I'm down with this. I like this. And by the time it's through, like, it's very much its own thing, but it's like really good. It's really excellent.
So they won you over with the animation by movie's end, is what you're telling me.
No, they won me over with like the storytelling and the heart, really. And of course I watched it with my kid. Again, another great reason to experience Batman Christmas stuff with your kid for the intended audience. This was like the first time she was really introduced to Damian Wayne as a concept at all, really.
Yeah.
And she's like, wait, Batman has a kid? Damian? Okay. He's like a little Batman. Okay. Yeah. So it was fun. I mean, it kind of held it up to like Batman canon, but it was its own thing where it's like, okay, this is kind of like Home Alone, but with Damian Wayne. And it's just neat. And there were a lot of Easter eggs, but it wasn't Easter egg the movie. It was just like Batman solution, but its own weird Christmas fun thing. And it's another interesting interpretation of everything, but it still kind of worked at the end, and the voice acting was really well done, and Batman, and especially Damian, like the whole thing works so well because he's so gosh darn lovable, and he just wants to be a good superhero.
What DC has done with Damian over the last few years has really kind of changed the character. You know, especially for me, like I used to hate the character of Damian. I've really warmed up to him a lot.
Yeah.
And it's because of a lot of different interpretations, which I find fascinating. And something similar has been going on with Jason Todd Red Hood as well. Like that's the character I always was like he should be dead. He shouldn't be around.
He works better when he's dead.
Yeah, but recently they've kind of changed the character a little bit, and it's been working. And I did read the what's it called, the Robin Lives issue, the reprint, the unreleased issue of where Jason Todd didn't die, Batman 428, and that was it's essentially the same book except for like 2 panels, you know.
Yeah, where he's I thought
it'd be a little bit more different. Like I thought Robin would be incorporated into the end, but he wasn't. But I enjoyed that, just speaking of Jason Todd, and the other characters are in the movie. Like there's a scene where you see like a checklist and Nightwing's mentioned, so like that's for the fanboys who are gonna freak out. Like, where's everybody else? It's not connected to anything, you know. Like it's like, don't worry, it's there. Calm down, it's there.
Yeah,
we're all there. But yeah, no, that was great. I gotta say, I don't want to spoil too much in this episode because this episode will come out first. But I did enjoy it a lot, and I'll get into a lot more detail next episode when we do that. And then the next Batman thing I think we really needed to talk about was Mr. Pattinson has entered the video game realm. The skin
Finally.
with the Pat suit, as I like to call it, has been included in Arkham Knight, and I've been playing it all day, and it's been a lot of fun. It just added a little jazz, you know.
Yeah, that plus Arkham coming to Nintendo Switch has like reignited a lot of our plus the Rocksteady's new Suicide Squad game coming out in just a few months has reignited everybody's kind of fan eyes back to the Arkhamverse. And yeah, I've done my own little exploration lately into that we've all been talking about. I got the Switch version primarily, as just a Batman video game collector, and because I wanted to see just how bad Arkham Knight could possibly be on the Switch, and of course to see that.
I love that's your angle. I want to see how bad this possibly could be, so I'm going to buy it.
It is, because I get to pull the I'm a game developer card. As a game developer, I want to see if they were able to pull it off. The
card that Haas really should be pulling out is I'm a Batman Dark Tomorrow defender.
I am. Yeah, if I'm going to take a crazy stand, that's the stand. But yeah, like the Pattinson suit is really cool. And it does make me want to just pop that disc back into the PlayStation 4.
Because it's been a while since I popped in Arkham Knight. I've been playing.
The game came out like in 2015.
Yeah, but I've been recently playing what's it called? The Back to Arkham, Return to Arkham, whatever that 2-pack is called. I've been doing that. I'm
the remake of.
Yeah, I've been delving into that, but it's been fun to mess around as Pattinson because I was like, man, the suit's very detailed. All the stitching is there, and the cowl, and fun taking pictures. They did a really good job bringing. And
people are having fun with it online. I've seen like people like start the game as the Pattinson Batman suit, and people have like put the "Can't Fight City" Halloween from the Batman music over top of it, and it just like lines up really well, and it just gets you psyched.
I like mixing Batsuits with Batmobiles. So I've been riding around in the Anton first car, and with the
Batmobile with Pattinson.
It's kind of cool. It's cool. It's cool seeing the
Adam West
Batmobile with Affleck. It's like it's like it just doesn't fit. It's just funny. But I love it at the same time. I am surprised they didn't do the car. I'm a little shocked.
Well,
is that like how? You're behind the scenes. Does that take a little bit? How much more effort is it to get us a car?
It's a little bit more effort. Which, from what I remember, for Arkham Knight, like you can do like the '89 vehicle, but you can't do everything visually. That
it doesn't do the battle mode stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
If you need to use the winch, it like switches back. I think the car I'm actually using now in game is the Robin version. I have
Okay.
that. I have that skin in there, which is fun because this is good old Rob Myers. You know,
Yeah.
that one's for Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love playing all those different Batmobiles. I was kind of hoping maybe we can get a Highway to Anger Zone time trial. You know, because I love those
Yeah.
time trials, man. I can get sucked into playing
Oh,
them
that
like
would be
it's
so
Crazy
cool.
Taxi, dude.
Oh yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
That's
that
what
is
it
cool.
reminds me of. Just picking up
Yeah.
people with just Crazy Taxi is just one big race. I love that game so much.
Yeah.
I've been playing that since Dreamcast. I haven't
Oh,
stopped.
I know. It's coming back. They're making a new one.
They're they're remaking. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm. And of course you talk about underrated Batman Christmas things. There's no other poster child for that than Arkham Origins. And
Yeah. Oh man, I never understood the hate that game got. I don't get it at all because I think it's just as good as the others.
Well, now today, like if that game came out today, people would be like, "Oh, thank God, this is amazing."
I'm hoping after
Chris
Christmas.
Clow has always told me like that I need to replay it and everything, and he kept telling me, "Oh, it's actually kind of a hard game to acquire these days. Like you can get it on PC,
People just don't resell it.
There's a really little known fact that if you have like a disc version of the Xbox 360, it will work in a Xbox Series X, and it'll like upres it, and it'll give it HDR, and and so I tried it the other day, and I thought I would just look at it for a few minutes, and I ended up playing Arkham Origins for like 3 hours straight, and I'm like, oh, this game is so good. So good.
It's probably out of all the puffy Batsuits, Arkham Origins is probably my favorite puffy Batsuit. You know what I'm talking about? Like, people complain that the BVS suit looks a little Michelin Man. Nothing looks more Michelin than the Arkham Knight suit, and I dig it myself personally. I hopefully, after these, I'm waiting for see what I tally up post Christmas, and then I'm going to splurge. I'm going to get a Series X. And then I can finally see what the hype is about Gotham Knights.
Do it
because I see it's actually dirt cheap right now on
you just
Amazon.
go ahead and get the disc, and then you can.
It's like $15. I was like, wow, this game is really cheap. I can't wait to buy that. And the whole reason, actually, this isn't Batman, but the reason that's pushing me to the Xbox Series X to finally just go next gen in general is RoboCop Rogue City. Game was like, I was like, all right, that's
I need to get that.
I was like, that was it. That's the last straw. I was like, Spider-Man. I've been tempted with Spider-Man for years. I even thought about buying like when did Spider-Man come out? It came out for like PlayStation 3, right?
2018 4.
Yeah, so like when that came out, when PlayStation 4 came out, I was all right, I'll just wait and I'll buy a PlayStation 3 and I'll play Spider-Man on that. Like I'll just buy like some old used console on GameStop and I'll buy the game, but I never actually did. So one day I'll play these Spider-Man games. Until then, it's Ultimate Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I recently actually played while we're on the topic of video games, Superman Returns on my old Xbox.
I've been seeing that. I would love that game, honestly.
It's fun, man.
Just the flying around the Metropolis.
It's very simple.
It's
very
fun.
simple. And Mr. Mixolydic drives me crazy in that game. I'll say that much. But I don't know. I mean, I'm dying to find out what Gotham Knights is like. I didn't play that. It didn't seem to.
I played the heck out of that game. I played like 180 hours of that game, which is ridiculous.
It just didn't seem to capture the masses the way the Arkham series.
It's very specific. Like if you're a Batman fan and if you're a Batman family fan, it's worth playing, and it's even better if you can find somebody to play it with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Suicide Squad. Hopefully that comes out. That'll be good. I'm looking forward to that. People are not happy about that. Every time that game gets brought up, people are complaining. It seems like. So
yeah, there's a lot to complain about, but apparently it looks like it could turn out to be pretty good though. So we'll see.
I'm down. I mean, there's a lot of those characters are cool. How could you complain? Because I love the DLC for Arkham Knight for Harley Quinn. Like that stuff's fun. I play those little side missions. I don't think there's. I think they should do more of that stuff. Like, I would buy if they honestly like. I don't know if this is like a thing, but I would buy more of stuff like that. Like if they kept doing that,
Yeah.
like if they kept doing like Nightwing side missions, I would pay like $10 for a side mission or whatever. It
Yeah.
was, 15.
I think the kind of plan for Suicide Squad at least is to like they'll introduce new Suicide Squad members as the game can if the game is successful and keeps going, they can put another new squad member in.
Yeah, but that only works if the game is successful. Like I don't want to do it for something like, I don't know. Remember Superman 64?
Yeah.
Oh, I could not fly in that game. I didn't know what it was.
It was so hard.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
We've come a long way. We have. Oh man, but that's it for Bat Chat. I think. I think we covered everything. I don't know. You can't stretch it out too much. There's only so many pages in this little book.
We could have read the book. Yeah,
well, you could sing it along. If you feeling Holzman, can you sing it for me?
I'm not feeling. My voice is barely here as it is.
Oh, that's funny. All right, Haas, why don't you just plug away?
Plug away. Follow me on the website formerly known as Twitter at SMB_Ryan. Follow my Mario Brothers the Movie archive website at SMB Movie. We are instrumental in the release of the new Mario Brothers 4K Blu-ray that comes out in January. So if you haven't pre-ordered that, go to just look up Umbrella Entertainment, and you'll find it to be pre-ordered there. There's like 3 different versions of different tiers and prices. And my goodness, I've been on so many Batman Podcast Network shows lately. So check out the Batman Book Club, where I get to talk to Laura about Mask of the Phantasm novel.
Oh, that was fantastic. I listened to it.
Great episode. Oh, and Batman Animation with when I was here on with Pete here and Javi. We talked about Mask of the Phantasm 30th anniversary.
I got to tell you, man, I'm so glad you guys invited me to that, because that was a blast to revisit. I haven't.
It was really good.
Such a long time.
Yeah, it was really good.
Haven't.
Like I did like a 1-2 punch with recording with Lauer and then doing that, and hopefully once
and you made me want to track down that novelization.
I know.
That. Between that and the Penguin book, I got to track them both down.
I know they're two cool little Batman pieces of Batman media that are a little obscure at this point, but are definitely well worth tracking down.
How do you feel? This is how I feel. And I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I think it's a cool way to end this show. Mask of the Phantasm. You argue it's probably arguably the best Batman movie ever released in theaters?
It's arguable, that's for sure.
Ryan Haas can give a strong argument.
It's an argument, yeah.
All right, that's what I like to hear. I think it's great. And it's at 7. We said it on the show at 70 minutes. You're like, man, this thing is heavy. This thing is really intense. So it's fun. I can't wait. That was a great show. Javi did a fantastic job putting that together. For me, if you want to follow me on social media, I'm at Pete Illustrated on Twitter and Instagram. If you like this podcast, you want to follow something similar, follow Straight Outta Gotham. I do that with Eric Holzman. Follow us wherever you listen to good podcasts, or on Twitter and Instagram at straight_O_G. You can check us out on Facebook. There's a page and a Facebook group, so check those things out. I also have a Spider-Man themed podcast, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition. You can find that on Twitter at a new handle, Spidey Coalition. So check that out. I'm going to have a new episode dropping at the end of the month. That'll be fun. And just BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film YouTube. I'm always around. I'm on the Facebook group, Torture and Lauer, because Bam Blitz, Michigan going down. We're coming for it, baby. Bam Blitz, watch out, Trey Jackson, come for you too, baby. It's just having a lot of fun trolling you guys on the Facebook group. It's been a blast. But as always, thank you for listening to the Batman on Film podcast, authoritative, definitive. Ready, Ryan?
Dadgum
original, baby. Gumbo, baby. Here we go. Pew, 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 pew. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the original and official podcast of the Batman on Film website. Follow BOF on Threads at The Batman on Film. Follow BOF on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Batman on Film. To keep BOF up and running, go to patreon.com/Batman on Film, or you can buy BOF a beer at buymeacoffee.com/TheRealBatman on Film. For Jet and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original. Batman on Film, founded in 1998.
Say goodbye, Graceland.